Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to review a movie I just checked out like 2 nights ago called The Manson Family, put out by Severin. I think they released it in 2013, but this movie was started filming in like 1988, and it had finished in 2003, so it took a long time to get filmed. But this is from Jim Van Bebber, the director and star of Deadbeat at Dawn, and he was most recently in the Song of Solomon as one of the priests, I think the first priest. And I had never heard of him. I actually discovered him from Song of Solomon, so I decided to look him up, see what all he's done, and I discovered he did this movie called The Manson Family. And I'm a big fan of like true crime movies and just movies and books on serial killers in general, so I had to check it out. I'd never seen it. I'm a big fan of Helter Skelter and stuff like that, so I figured I'd give it a try. And believe it or not, this is actually my favorite Manson movie of all the ones I've seen, or any documentary. I had a complete blast with this. This is it's essentially about the followers and the family of Charles Manson more than Charles Manson himself. Like Charles Manson's in it, but it's he's like in the background or just like a side character to the whole thing. But yeah, this is a really disturbing movie too, and it's really trippy because it starts off with it's a really choppy movie. Like you see modern time and these kids kind of gearing up for something, and then it switches to like a true crime documentary about Charles Manson and the killers and all and the followers and all that. And then it tells a flashback to like cinematic movie stuff. So you're getting kind of the best of all of it. It's really choppy, but it does blend together into a coherent piece. So it may seem really messy at first, but if you stick with it, it's a really solid story. And like I said, I love this movie. I thought it was super entertaining. There were some really genuinely disturbing parts in it, especially towards the climax of the film. It doesn't really hold back at all when it comes to the murders and all that, and it has like a really just eerie vibe to it. It looks so realistic, and there's some stuff that is just really brutal in it. Like I've never seen stabbings done so well in a movie as I have in this movie. Now the acting, there's some people that aren't as good in the acting in it, but Jim Van Bebber plays one of the followers, and he does good. The guy who plays Tex, he did a really good job. The guy who played Charles Manson did a really good job. I probably dig his portrayal more than I liked Steve Railsback, I think, who played him in Helter Skelter. I could be wrong on that, but I actually like this dude's performance better. I like the overall tone, the overall feel. There's a lot of really trippy visuals, and even cutaways. Like there's like a lava lamp looking like acid look cutaway. So, I mean, if you're drinking or you're smoking herb or whatever the deal may be, this movie's perfect to put on because it's a trip of a movie. It's more like an experience. If I could be honest, I don't want to sound cliche, but I love this movie with a passion. It's up there with my favorite serial killer movies. Like I'd put this up there with Henry or The Deliberate Stranger. That Ted Bundy movie was really good. But yeah, I'd put this up there with those. I really loved it. I'm really glad it did finally get made. I know Phil Anselmo from Pantera put up some money, and I think the two guys who own Severin now, maybe. I could be wrong on that, but I think the two guys who own Severin used to work for Blue Underground. I think they put up money to help them finish this. But yeah, I'm going to leave the story at that. Great story, really cool visual style to this movie. It's a style and substance, and it was really original. I've never seen a movie structured the way this movie's structured. The only downfall is I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, but that's such a minor gripe. It really didn't take anything away from the overall experience to me, but I really dug the movie. And as far as the Blu-ray, the film looks deliberately bad. I know he wanted a vintage look to the film and all that to make it look like it was filmed in the 60s and 70s. And it does achieve that, but the Blu-ray also looks stunning, if that makes sense. Like, it looks really shitty, but it's still really shiny and kind of glossy at the same time. Like, there's some scenes where the detail's really good, but you're still seeing a lot of specks and hair and scratches that he deliberately put in there, but it still looks really good. It's hard to explain, but it's definitely worth picking up on Blu-ray. This is the 10th anniversary edition, so it has quite a bit of features. It has an audio commentary with director Jim Van Bebber, exclusive interview with musician Phil Anselmo, I watched it. It was like 12 minutes. He was basically talking about his love for the whole Marilyn or Charles Manson kind of mythos or whatever, the whole phenomenon, his contributions to the film. The Van Beber Family, a feature-length documentary, uncut, of the making of this movie. And The Belly of the Beast, when Jim Van Beber was shopping this around the film festival circuit trying to get more money. It was a rough cut. It has a feature-length documentary on him during that whole process. Interview with Charles Manson, which is just like a 12-minute. It's a pretty bizarre Charles Manson interview. It has nothing to do with the movie. I was hoping it was going to be like an interview where it'd be like, did you see the movie? What were your thoughts? But no, it's just him kind of rambling on. There's deleted scenes and theatrical trailers. I give this a full recommendation. If you find this wherever, I bought this at Grindhouse Video in Tampa, but if you get this on Amazon or whatever, it's definitely worth a pickup. I'm really excited to see whatever Jim Van Beber does next, if he does anything next. This also does include a short film he did called Gator Green, which is kind of like Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive mixed with like Combat Shock or something. It's pretty well done. But yeah, I was really pleased with this purchase. I give this a full recommendation. It's definitely worth the $20 or whatever you find it for. But I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.